This week's Sweet Creature feature is Insidious. An American film released in 2010, Insidious shows the way societal pressures of toxic masculinity affect men's mental health through suppression of emotion, the pressure to be the provider of the family, and the way that it affects everyone else in their lives. If you've seen my video on The Conjuring, also directed by James Wan, then you know the typical themes of possession films revolve around women being misunderstood and being punished for not fitting into society's expectations. Insidious surprised me by showing societal pressures on men. For the first half of the film, I was viewing it through the lens of Renee fitting into the typical possession narrative of a woman breaking convention and being punished for it and nobody believing her, which isn't untrue. She is a stay-at-home mother, but that was originally so that she could work on her music while she takes care of the baby. So she is still a working woman. She's just working from home. And it is also true that her husband Josh doesn't believe her, and she feels like she's going crazy trying to prove it. But Josh is the problem here, and everything that Renee is experiencing is just a product of Josh's unhealed trauma. Society's ideal woman is the stay-at-home mother. Society's ideal man is the working man, the provider of the family. So naturally, they buy a new home, and Renee stays home to take care of the baby. So it is Josh's job to work and make all the money and pay all the bills and pay for this new mortgage and also protect his wife and children, which is admittedly a lot to put on one person, and that will age you. So that's probably why Josh is so focused on plucking his gray hairs and putting cream around his eyes to prevent crow's feet. A man's typical reaction to stress or fear, especially men Josh's age, is to suppress and avoid it, which is why when all of these scary, unexplained dangers start happening and Renee is looking to Josh to protect them as the hero of the family, Josh starts working late to grade papers, and Renee even calls him out on it, saying that he always avoids stressful situations. It turns out when Josh was young, he was also stalked by a spirit. He would astral project in his sleep into a other realm known as the Further, and a spirit began to slowly infest his physical body while his spirit was in the Further. So his mom hired an expert to come and make it stop happening. And Josh has spent his entire life since then suppressing it so much that he has no memory of it, which is very relatable. But him suppressing his trauma instead of dealing with it is exactly why the same thing is happening to his son now. See, these societal pressures on men don't stop if you don't stop them yourself. So, because Josh is still holding on to this ideal male persona of the provider and the hero, he is forcing his son to then grow up into that same expectation. Josh has to confront his trauma in order to save his son. And the only way to save his son from growing up under these societal pressures is to end the cycle himself. Once Josh overcomes his trauma, is emotionally vulnerable, and saves his son, he is then possessed by a spirit. And the spirit that Josh is possessed by is a woman, because an emotionally vulnerable man in society's eyes is basically a woman.